अस्सलाम वालेकुम। सिटी स्पेशल में मैं आपका मेज़बान आगा हैदर। आज हम लोग एक बहुत ख़ास जगह पे आए हुए हैं। पीछे मेरे लाहौर फोर्ट, सामने बादशाही मस्जिद और हजूरी बाग के बीच में हम यहाँ आए। हम लोग आज एक बहुत स्पेशल गेस्ट से मिलने वाले हैं। वो है यूएस कौंसल जनरल कैथरीन रॉड्रिगस। उनसे हम खुसूसी गुफ्तगू करेंगे कि कौंसल जनरल में क्या काम है, लाहौर में क्या काम है और पंजाब में क्या काम है। आइए उनसे गुफ्तगू करें। Well, thank you for being with us today. It's a pleasure to have you in this very scenic Lahore fort. And Consul General, before we get into the interview, I'd like to know about your background a little bit. You're obviously a very senior diplomat, which is why you're here posted as the Consul General of Lahore. What brought you towards the Foreign Service? What drew you to this profession?
Aga, thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. I'm the daughter of immigrants, and my parents came from Cuba, and I wanted to give back to the country that accepted my parents. So when the opportunity came up of considering joining the Foreign Service, I thought, what better way to give back to the country that accepted my folks than joining the Foreign Service and representing the United States.
Great. So how long have you been in the Foreign Service by now?
Well, too long. I've been with the State Department since 2002.
Oh, wow. I was reading before the State Department, I think you were with USAID?
Yes, I did a number of years with USAID, mostly in Latin America.
Oh, wow. So how'd that time go for you in Latin America? El Salvador, I think you were in.
I was in El Salvador and Costa Rica. It was fantastic. We looked at a lot of the programs that are working on health issues at the time, as well as democracy initiatives. So it was a very interesting time. There was a lot going on in Latin America during that period.
You talk about a lot going on. Doing my background research, I saw that you've been posted to Pakistan before, specifically Karachi and Peshawar though. So clearly Pakistan's a hot destination for you. What brings you back to the country?
I love the people here.
Yeah.
I love the people, I love the culture, and frankly, Pakistanis remind me of my own Hispanic culture. Very warm, very engaging. Food is fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful places like this to see.
Yeah.
Why not come back to Pakistan?
So how was your time in Karachi and Peshawar? Do you see similarities in Lahore, or is it completely different? Or how was your posting out there?
Each posting is unique because of the time you're there. There are similarities amongst them all, but if you were to ask me which one would be the best, I would say they're all fantastic in their own respects.
So you have different foods, though. Lahore has its different tastes. Karachi's got its own culinary experience, and Peshawar as well. Any favorites on the foods in the cities?
I have so many favorites, but some of my top favorites are palak paneer,
nice
all the naans, the rotis, and I've discovered here the Kashmiri tea during the wedding season, so I like that too.
It's called pink chai that we have out here. That's great. So moving on, you've been here as Consul General Lahore since September, I believe, of 2019. How's your experience been so far at the helm of affairs here in Lahore?
The experience has been fantastic. As I mentioned earlier, the Pakistanis have been warm, engaging, hospitable. The work here is fantastic. I'm very fortunate to have a phenomenal American-Pakistani team at the consulate, as well as great support from our embassy and other consulates.
Yeah. So what kind of areas of work does the U.S. consulate here in Lahore undertake?
Well, my priorities during my tenure as the Consul General are really four. One, improve or grow our business-to-business ties, continue and grow our people-to-people engagement, raising public awareness about air quality, and finally, to find a new consulate for us.
Yeah, I want to nitpick on these areas that you mentioned. I mean, it's some fantastic work and areas of interest, though, for sure. On the business-to-business aspect, considering that Pakistan's sort of regrowing its economy and it's in the stabilization phase, how receptive do you see the business community nowadays?
Extremely receptive. Business community here, like any business community in any part of the world, are always looking for new opportunities to new markets to sell their products, and as well as new opportunities to bring in products. So this is a very robust environment for business-to-business opportunities between the U.S. and Pakistan.
So do you see any trade enhancing between the two countries, or is it stagnant at this point? What's the future prediction that you see between the two countries in this regard?
We are definitely working toward enhancing those opportunities, and we are just beginning to get started. I know our colleagues in the Foreign Commercial Service have been down here. They're working on some trade delegations for Pakistani businesses to go to the United States, and we're definitely growing that market. We're looking at growing the market of renewables as well as air and solar. So there's a lot of great opportunities.
Yeah, on the air quality index, usually because there's so much smog, unfortunately, in Lahore, I've noticed that the consulate also has an air quality meter, though. What kind of a relationship is going on fixing the air pollution here in Pakistan? Or Lahore specifically, actually, yeah.
Air pollution is a year-round problem. Like today, while it's a beautiful sunny day, it's almost 200 AQI.
That is a lot.
One of the things we want to do in the consulate is increase public awareness. We just had our science envoy here. He met with interlocutors from the Punjab government, universities, NGOs, and civil society groups to really talk about the things that you all can do to improve the air quality.
Yeah, no, I think definitely that's one area that needs to be worked on, because unfortunately Lahore does have a lot of smog and it really kicks in the winter time. Another area that I was reading up about what the consulate does is the Ambassador's Fund for Preservation, where here in the Lahore Fort there's a lot of preservation work going on here. Just nearby in the vicinity we've got the Wazir Khan Mosque that the fund also looked after, though. Could you tell our viewers what exactly is this fund and how does it look after heritage sites here in Lahore?
We, just in the Punjab alone, the Ambassador's Fund has spent a little over $2 million to take care of certain historical treasures here. For example, Wazir Khan, we have spent about $1.2 million, and we're moving from the Wazir Khan to some of the houses around to protect those. We just closed our application process in December, so I'm hopeful that we will have more opportunities to enhance, beautify, and preserve some of the national treasures here in the Punjab.
So walk me through the application process. How does it work? I mean, are individuals able to apply, or does it go to the Walled City project, for example? What's the procedure for the fund?
The process is, it's an application process, and I'm sure that the Walled City has put in their application as well as other entities. And then it's vetted, and then we pick the best of the projects countrywide.
Okay. But in Lahore there's plenty of work done, but there's also work done, I believe, throughout Punjab. I mean, South Punjab there's work done. Are there other sites that are looked after in Punjab?
The ones that I'm most intimately aware of are the ones here in Lahore, but I will have to get back to you on the other ones. I know that the Walled City, especially Wazir Khan, has been a flagship of some of our efforts.
Yeah, no, definitely. With one of the previous U.S. Consul Generals, we walked through the Wazir Khan Mosque, and it's fantastic work that the fund has undertaken out there. In regards to students, there's a lot of collaboration with the Consul General and the Embassy in Islamabad and students in Pakistan. What are some of the main programs that are undertaken to look after students here in Pakistan?
Well, Pakistan has one of the largest youth populations in the world. So we're very focused on that segment of society. We have a number of projects. We have our English Access program. We have scholarships through USAID. For example, just in the Punjab alone, there were 2,100 scholarships given, of which 50% were designated for women. We're working with universities in our university partnerships. We have 5 here in the Punjab. We've invested almost $5 million on these partnerships. So we are working in different segments. But one of the best things about our programs is what happens when the students come back. And we have the PUAN, which is the Pakistan United States Alumni Network, almost 30,000 strong, of which just here in the Punjab we have 7,500. And really these guys are the ambassadors for our programs. And they're also doing a lot of great work on civil society projects, volunteerism, so they're taking it to the next level. And the consulate works very much with the PUAN chapters to really help and guide them. So it's a fantastic collaboration.
Okay. Well, before the next question, I do want to take a tour with you around the fort, though. So we'll walk to our next place and we'll take some questions out there, though. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So now that we moved from Diwan-e-Khas to the private viewing quarters of the Mumtaz Mahal, this place is actually called the Sheesh Mahal, and it was her private quarters where she would probably cut back out from the emperor's time and sit here and relax. Before we moved here, we were talking about students and how the consulate helps students between Pakistan and the United States. Could you walk me through the programs that they have to facilitate students here in Pakistan?
We have a number of programs. We have, IVLP, we have scholarship programs, we have English access programs for students between 18 and 20. We have the Lincoln Corners where students can go. It's a safe space. They can, have frank conversations. We also have the IVLP. They also become alumni as the Puan that we talked about earlier. But one thing I'd like to stress about the Puan, they become ambassadors for Pakistan when they go to the United States. They're the ones that can tie the bridge between some of the cultural differences that people have here versus the people in the United States. So while they do a lot of great things when they come back, they work with us, they're also great envoys for Pakistan because they're basically Pakistani ambassadors.
Great. So what is exactly the IVLP program and what would it mean for someone who's looking to apply for the program?
Well, the IVLP program is the International Leadership Visitors Program. And we send about 800 people to the United States on very focused programs. And the IVLP program in Pakistan is the largest in the world. Like, for example, this year, based on things that we've heard from our contacts, things that we've seen, we've focused some of our programs on investigative journalism, quality of medicines, air quality, combating IPR. So we're very focused. We usually have 10 to 12 programs that are set up where the people go to the United States. It's usually 2 to 3 weeks. They hit various cities in the United States. They talk to leaders in those industries and they learn lessons that they can bring back to Pakistan.
Great. Now, these are obviously very valuable areas for students of Pakistan to look into and to sort of get into more, especially with the air quality and investigative journalism that you mentioned. How would one apply for these programs and what's the process and the procedures to look into it?
There's an application process when the time comes up. The consulate will have that information available, but it's not just students, also young professionals. We're really trying to give people the tools that they need to affect change.
Great. So what could one expect when they're selected for this program? What's the package like in the United States? Do they visit universities? Do they visit companies? What's the program like in the States?
Depends on what the topic of the program is. For example, I did an outbrief from our recent IVLPs the other day, and they were talking about their experiences. Some met with local government officials, if their focus was on young parliamentarians. Some met with Silicon Valley and other startups if their focus was on young entrepreneurs. So it really depends on the focus of the program is how we set it up.
Great. And how long are these programs usually that they find themselves in the United States?
Again, depends on the program.
Yeah.
It could be as short as a week, long as 3 weeks. It really depends on what the program's initiative is.
Great. Well, this is one aspect of the IVLPs. I believe there's also a lot of student partnership when it comes to university collaboration between Pakistan and the United States. What are some of the relationships of these universities between the two countries?
As I mentioned earlier, we have 5 universities here. We've got almost $5 million that we've invested. A lot of it is exchanges where students here can learn from professors in the United States. Maybe they can help them get over to finish their PhD, exchanges between professors, talking about lessons learned, best approaches. And this is a great initiative where really Pakistan can learn from us and we can learn from Pakistan.
Is it only a student-to-student collaboration, or do professors also exchange?
Professors also as well. Sometimes it's academics, administrators. I mean, the exchange is not limited just to students.
One place that I was reading is, even though there's a lot of collaboration between universities, agriculture is also a big collaboration point between the two countries, especially I believe the University of Agriculture in Faisalabad. So what's that relationship between the two countries like?
Oh, USAID does a lot of our work in agriculture, and we're trying to improve farming techniques, make sure that they're aware of the latest technologies. I mean, it's a long-standing relationship that USAID has in the agriculture segment of the Punjab. I mean, Punjab is the agricultural hub of the country.
So there's a lot of relationship between Pakistan and the United States when it comes to students though, but one area of USAID, I believe, is the agricultural sector between the two countries. What business relationship, or agricultural relationship rather, does Pakistan and the United States have?
Pakistani agricultural firms want to buy products from the United States, and the United States wants to sell products to Pakistan. So there's that business relationship, and there's also USAID is working with farmers to help them improve their techniques. So it's from beginning to end.
Great. Well, now that we've heard a lot about the agriculture, why don't we take a walk inside the Sheesh Mahal and see what kind of architectural designs the emperor had at that time.
Absolutely.
Great, let's go.
All right.
Consul General, we were talking about the USAID programs that are so significant here in Punjab. What are some of the USAID programs that we have down in South Punjab as well?
Thank you, excellent question. One of the premier programs that we have is that USAID has been working with women farmers to really give them the equipment they need to be more entrepreneurial. But in South Punjab, the consulate also has a number of English access programs. We have it in DG Khan, Faisalabad, Multan, Walpur. I mean, we're definitely getting out there. We are working throughout the Punjab, not just here in Lahore.
No, that's great that there's a lot of outreach by the consulate in South Punjab, especially where it's probably not as strong economically as you would see Central Punjab. Walk me through the women entrepreneur programs. What kind of programs and access and availability to economic opportunities do women entrepreneurs have in South Punjab?
We have a number of programs, as I mentioned, the farm program. We have the scholarship program for young girls. As I mentioned earlier, USAID has given out 2,100 scholarships in the Punjab, of which 50% are designated for women. We have female entrepreneurial programs. We have female tech programs where we're trying to teach them skills. Coding. We have things that are Lincoln Corners that are focused on girls, but also on men too, on young men.
Great. You talked about the women entrepreneurs down South Punjab. These programs, how receptive do you see women down in South Punjab towards these programs? Are they more welcoming of him? Do you find themselves distant? What's the response that you get?
I have yet been to South Punjab, but I can tell you of the women's programs that I've done here in Lahore. I would say the young girls are probably as enthusiastic, if not more, than the men. They are very thankful for these programs. I've talked to young ladies that have done our IVLP programs, that have done our scholarship programs, our SUSI programs, and the level of enthusiasm is beyond compare.
You mentioned down South Punjab, there's also a program that the consulate does. It's called the Access Program. What exactly is the Access Program?
The Access Program is geared towards students between the age of 13 to 20. We work on their English skills, but we also work on their soft skills, like to give them the confidence to speak publicly, to give them interviewing skills, to give them time management skills. So when they enter the workforce, they are one step above someone else.
They've already gotten the head start that
they already have the head start.
Great. So how would these women who are seeking to gain access to these programs, to the Access program, how would they apply or how would they go by it?
Some of these programs are housed at universities. They would go through their universities. We also have an English Access program in a madrasa here in Lahore. So we have these programs throughout, and it's just a matter of going on our website and finding out where these programs are so you can apply.
Great. Is there any age limit for these programs, or is it open age?
The age is from 13 to 20.
Okay. So 13 to 20-year-old young women can apply for these programs.
And young men.
And young men.
And young men. Let's
We'll
not
make
forget
that
the
clear
men.
that, of course, can apply for these programs
Absolutely.
and get the technical, vocational training that they need. Another area that I believe the consulate works in is the Lincoln Corners.
Yes.
This sounds very interesting, obviously based off of a U.S. president. What exactly is the Lincoln Corner?
Think of the Lincoln Corner as a library, but it's more than a library. It's a safe space for people to come together and have conversations, to talk about the topics of the day, to maybe see a film, hear a speaker. I mean, access the internet, access books. So it's a way for them to go beyond what they have at home or what they have at school.
Great. Well, that sounds like a very intellectually stimulating corners that young people have to go and visit. Before I ask you more questions...
One more thing. We have 4 Lincoln Corners here in the Punjab. I'm probably going to forget some of them, but Multan, we have one here at Lahore. We have one here in, I think, Zargoda, and Faisalabad. So definitely check those out. See what activities they have.
Sure, should definitely visit these corners, but before we visit the Access or the Lincoln Corners, why don't we take a visit down to the Hazuri Bagh. Consul General, we're here at one of the final destinations of our tour today, and to test my knowledge of the Lahore Fort, this is the Hazuri Bagh, right outside the Alamgiri Gate, and we're in the shadows of our great philosopher Allama Iqbal. He's buried right across here, and of course we're at the entrance of the Badshahi Mosque. So this is probably cultural central, not only for Lahore but Pakistan and of course the region as well. It's one of the summer palaces that the Mughal emperors had back in the day. It's one of my favorite spots here, of course. To continue our conversation, there's a lot of work that the consulate does, especially with students in Pakistan and in Punjab, obviously. Walk me through the IVLP programs again that you had said, because we get a lot of queries for students and the kind of outreach programs that they're able to access when they're looking towards the United States.
Well, we have a number of student programs that, I mentioned, SUSI, IVLP, and that's also available for young professionals. We have our scholarship programs through USAID, etc. But I don't know if you realize that 8,000 Pakistanis, aside from our programs, are coming to study in the United States, which is fantastic. And we are working with the South Asia tour that will be coming in February. And this is a great opportunity for students to come to the event to check out different universities that they may want to apply to.
Did this event, though, I mean, a lot of universities partake. Would there be American universities visiting Pakistan for students?
Yes, there would be American universities. We will also have someone discussing visas, the whole process there as well. But it's a multi-day event, so they should check our Facebook account out and see when the event is and see if it's something that they would be interested in.
Great. You mentioned visas, though, and I know that's a very interesting topic that a lot of students and people and professionals query not only us as a news organization, but I'm sure the consulate also gets a lot of questions in regards to visas. Could you walk me through the process? How difficult is it, as some claim that it is the visa process, or how easy is it in your mind?
The visa process, it really depends on your motives for traveling to the United States. And unfortunately, here in Lahore, we do not issue visas. Many people think we do because in the past we did. If you want to apply for a US visa to study or to travel as a tourist, you need to go to Islamabad or Karachi. That's one thing that we would love to change here. We would love to get a new consulate so we could bring visas back. We believe about 25,000 people from the Punjab visit Islamabad for visas. There's no reason why they need to do that when they could have it done here. So that's one of the things that we're working on at the consulate. And if we have a brand new consulate, it would be a beautiful, energy efficient building. We would be able to have more people there to work on furthering business ties. We talked earlier about agriculture, USAID. We would have more people working on those very important programs to strengthen the bilateral relationship between the US and Pakistan.
Great. Well, hopefully you get the consulate and visas are processed out here in Lahore, which would make the 25,000 people who travel to Islamabad a lot easier though. So in terms of students traveling to the United States, what's the collaboration that students have once they come back? You mentioned Puan though, and I know that's a big organization, but I want to get more into that because it seems to be a big outreach program and facilitators and ambassadors for students who study in the United States and they come back to Pakistan.
Well, it's not only just students that study in the United States, it's basically the alumni of all of our programs, including IVLP. So it's a great opportunity to network, to share common goals, and also maybe collaborate on future endeavors.
So what kind of chapters or events does Puan have out here in Pakistan?
Well, recently the Puan chapter here in Lahore had an employment conference where they brought in speakers, motivational speakers, to talk about, you know, some of the things that they should do to get jobs, how to keep a job, how to become a very great employee. They brought in other industry professionals to talk about the hiring process. I mean, it was a fabulous event. I was fortunate to go and I was extremely impressed with what they put together. And it was a great opportunity for the members of Puan to come and really talk to people that could give them some valuable advice.
Great. It sounds like there's obviously a lot of wonderful work and it seems to be a big organization community that comes together once they have a relationship built with the United States. Another area that I want to get into is obviously we're here in Lahore and it's a city that I grew up in. What are your takes on Lahore? How has your experience been in the city so far?
You know, we're here at this beautiful event, as I mentioned to you before the cameras rolled. I've been to an evening event here and frankly, it is a sight to behold. I mean, this place is beautiful at day, but even more beautiful at night. I have been totally captivated by Lahore. I really am enjoying the city and I'm always looking forward to discovering new places. But one of the things I have enjoyed being here is I had the opportunity to go to the Kartai Port opening, which was, you know, the hallmark of a great effort by the Punjab and the federal government to open it up to allow Sikh pilgrims from both sides to visit basically the equivalent of Medina that had been closed off. I know that the government is hoping to do more religious tourism, and in answer to that, we have set up an IVLP program which will focus on religious tourism.
That sounds wonderful. Religious tourism is obviously a big aspect in Lahore, where you've got multiple different religions that you find here in the city. You mentioned the IVLP program for religious tourism. Could you get into it a little bit? What exactly is the program and what does it seem like?
Well, we're in the creation phase, so we haven't fleshed out, but if some of your viewers have any ideas, we look forward to that. You can find us on Facebook and let us know some great ideas you have. But the idea is to really showcase these world treasures that are here in Pakistan.
So they're definitely, I mean, as far as religious sites is concerned, you've got plenty of areas all the way from Karachi up north in Peshawar too. But coming back to my favorite city, I know you're a foodie though and you enjoy food a lot. We had a program with you on our Organic channel some time ago where you actually cooked some home food.
Yes, I made arroz con pollo.
Oh, arroz con pollo. Talk me through that. What is arroz con pollo exactly?
You know, arroz con pollo is similar to your biryani.
Okay.
A little different, the texture of the rice, but it's the same basic concept. As you may know, the Moors were in Spain for 800 years and they left some things as that were incorporated into Spanish culture. My family, as I mentioned earlier, is originally from Cuba and many of our dishes come from Spain. So arroz con pollo is a staple. It is something that people eat multiple times a day. I mean, not multiple times a day, multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And it is just one of the hallmarks of the dishes that we have. I have found some fantastic restaurants here. I look forward to discovering more great restaurants.
Great. I'm gonna push you a little bit here. What's exactly your favorite Pakistani cuisine or food item out here?
You know, I like anything with palak paneer, biryani, obviously, because it's close to my heart. You know, some of the rotis are fantastic. I like some of the desserts. I have yet found a Pakistani dish that I have not liked.
Oh wow, that speaks volumes of the kind of food that we have out here. What about your city tour? How much have you toured Lahore, being a Consul General of Lahore? Have you been to some of the historical sites besides the fort and the mosque?
I'm looking forward to going to the Lahore Museum sometime in the near future. I need to get out more. But if people have some suggestions on where I should go, please let us know on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are a lot more sites
yes, there are.
To Lahore that I hope our viewers would suggest and recommend for you, though. Well, wrapping up here, because we've had a fabulous tour of the fort and the mosque, though, I would like you to say a few words for our audience, though, and for Lahore specifically out here.
Thank you, Aga. Thank you for letting me be on your show, and for the audience, thank you for all the warm and inviting people that I've met here in Pakistan. Considering this is my third time, I look forward to working on some of the things we've talked about, because our relationship with Pakistan is very important, and we only want to see it grow because the future is here in Pakistan. Thank you.
Well, it was great to have you on our show, and we'll hopefully see more of you and hear about the wonderful things that the Consul does here in Pakistan.
Thank you, Aga, and I look forward to coming back anytime.
Thank you, Consul General. Thank you.